Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of high school football here on Eagle Pass Sports Central. Thank you so much for joining us on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Morris Lipson Jr. and Ruben Valadez alongside with you here this evening. 7:30 kickoff time from New Braunfels here at Cougar Stadium, where the Eagles have come in to play the homestanding Canyon High School Cougars. Cougars come in with a 1-2 record for the season. The Eagles, of course, after that huge victory against Taft a couple of weeks ago, come in, Morris, with some energy and an opportunity here to find out what this team has got before going into district play.
You know, Ruben, we talked about it at the prediction show that the Eagles, they don't like to call them off weeks. They had an open week. So they've actually had, almost 2 weeks to look at New Braunfels Canyon and see what they're bringing to the table. A 1-2 record is probably deceiving, and I'm sure that tonight the Eagles are going to be in for a football game here. But by the same token, I'm sure that both on both sides of the ball, the Eagles have prepared well as to what they need to do, and especially, coming off a great win against Taft, where everything came together. And we're hoping that tonight we're going to have a great competitive ball game here.
Eagles will be kicking off. Those of you joining us on Facebook and YouTube, you're hearing Morris and I. No video today. That's district policy here at Comal ISD. No live airings are allowed. And so we are coming to you the old-fashioned way, just like you used to listen to on radio. Eagles will be kicking off. They'll be moving right to left. On your screen, Eagles wearing those away all-white uniforms. Kickoff is on its way from Ivan Cruz. It's a very short one. It is fair caught at the 30 over on the far side of the field, and the Cougar offense will come on for their first possession.
And we're ready to go here. We've got a slight wind here, blowing from right to left, so the Cougars have the wind in their face to begin this ball game as they go out for their first possession here, the ball at the 30-yard line.
We're going to look at number 10, Knox Ford, the sophomore quarterback for the Cougars here, and see how he manages on their first drive. He'll start with the ball on the far hash mark, moving left to right. 3 receivers here to the near side of the formation. He's going to move the man in the backfield over to the slot formation on the top side. Knox drops back, lets a long pass go down the middle, and it is caught in Eagle territory at the 38-yard line. Number 4, Donovan Craycraft with the catch and has the Cougars in Eagle territory.
Ruben, we blitzed on that play, and Knox took a hit, but nonetheless he delivered. And our coverage, they got behind our coverage right down the middle of the field.
Ball is at the 33-yard line in Eagle territory. Quarterback quickly, again, this time it's a handoff off to the right to really the star here at Canyon. That's Jackson Reagan, the running back, and he will eat up a couple of yards as he nears the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Eagle defense being put to the test immediately here. They've got them back on their heels. They need to make some quick adjustments.
A couple of quick first downs here from the Cougar offense. Ford will be in the shotgun from the near hash mark. 3 receivers over to the top side of the formation, 1 split out wide right. He'll move his running back Reagan into the right slot. Here's a keeper right up the middle. Goes forward. He's got the 10, the 5, and he'll drag a couple of Eagles into the end zone with him. A quick strike, 3-play drive for 70 yards for the Cougars. Ends up in a 22-yard touchdown scamper by the quarterback.
After that, this first possession for the Cougars, most certainly, we know the Eagle Pass coaches up in the booth are looking and saying, "What is it that we need to adjust here?" Because look here, a swinging gate. I hadn't seen a swinging gate extra point in a long time.
The old swinging gate. This is the quarterback. They're going to go for 2 here. It's a handoff, and into the end zone on the sweep goes number 4, Donovan Craycraft. And just like that, with 10:45 left in the first quarter, the Cougars have struck quickly. It is an 8-0 lead over the Eagles. We'll be right back. Here is the kickoff. It's going to be fielded at about the 5-yard line over on the far side of the field by one of the Eagle return men, and he will near the 20. They'll mark him down at the 19 over on the far side of the field. And now Javi Barrera Morris comes out onto the field for the first time to see what kind of offensive momentum now the Eagles can get.
That was on the receiving end over there, 25, Aiden Ruiz.
Eagles will start at the 19-yard line with the ball on the far hash mark. Javi Barrera in the shotgun, 2 receivers on either side of the formation. And the running back should be Luis Flores on his right hip. 4 down linemen for the Cougars as Barrera now moves Luis Flores over to his left in the backfield. 8-0 is the Cougar lead early on here in this ball game. The handoff is to Luis Flores. He'll bounce around, and he'll get a couple of yards across the 20 to the 22.
The New Braunfels Canyon defense was right there, and it's going to be interesting to see who they key on. And, of course, it's going to be very important for Barrera to be very versatile in this game.
Barrera now from the shotgun. With 3 receivers here to the near side. Drops back, looks left, pass quick, caught by Sebastian Velasquez at the 20. He's at the 25, still on his feet, evading a couple of tacklers. And Velasquez will get the Eagles a first down across the 30 to the 31-yard line here on the near side.
A great second effort by Velasquez to actually get the first down. He actually got hit, kept those legs churning, and got outside the 30-yard line to get the first down.
And this is what the Eagles need on offense now, some momentum going back the other way. One thank you Thank all of you who are joining us on Facebook and YouTube from Eagle Pass. We've got a good Eagle Pass contingent across the way here at Cougar Stadium. Barrera's in the backfield by himself. 3 receivers over to the top side. Here comes Luis Flores now into the backfield along with him. He'll take the snap. The handoff is to Luis Flores on a little counter right into the middle of the formation. He goes, and he'll get about 3 yards to the 34.
We'll try to paint a picture for you here since we don't have any video. The Eagles in their white road visitors uniforms and the Cougars black jerseys and pants and those red numbers.
2nd and 7 for the Eagles now from the 34-yard line. Ball on the near hash mark. Barrera's in the shotgun with 2 running backs now, 2 receivers over to the top side, and some contact early on down here as the defensive back here, number 2, Luke Bell, put his hands on the receiver for the Eagles, Jesus Barba, before the snap.
And the thing is that our number 11, Jesus Barba, is looking at the official and saying, "Where's the flag?" He says,
"This guy
came over here and touched me. I haven't moved." And yes, the penalty did go against the Cougars. It was just a little delayed there. Fine job by Barba.
Ball ends up at the 39-yard line after that 5-yard penalty. It's a 2nd and 2 now for the Eagles. Ball on the near hash mark. Barrera again in the shotgun with 2 running backs in the backfield with him, 2 receivers over to the top side, 1 split out wide left. Barrera drops back to pass, looks to the far side. He's got Sebastian Velasquez streaking at the 40, 30, 35, 25, 20, 10, 5, and down at the 1-yard line. Sebastian Velasquez up the far hash mark on a streak, and the Eagles quickly come to the line at the 1.
They're coming to the line, but you had they've been setting that up with the run, and right down the middle of the field on a little slant, a great pass by Barrera, and then after that, Velasquez just turned on the rockets.
Barba will rush off the field now. Sebastian Velasquez will be split out wide left in this tight formation. A great strike by Barrera to his go-to receiver, Sebastian Velasquez. The handoff is to Luis Flores. There are flags on the play. Looked like pre-snap.
Well,
for now, Luis Flores is into the end zone. We're going to see what these flags are about.
This may be an illegal procedure. Let's see what's going on.
Well, the Eagles are celebrating. I think the touchdown will stand. It's an offsides against the Cougars again, so the touchdown is good. A 1-yard touchdown run for Luis Flores, and the Eagles have answered.
They most certainly have, and that was most important. Well, are we doing this over or what?
Well, I think they're keeping them on there for 2, maybe to try. No, this is Ivan Cruz coming out here now for the point after attempt.
Well, now they're thinking about it because here comes number 20 into the ball game, Luis Flores, and now we've got a little bit of confusion as to exactly what are we doing. The play clock under 10.
They're going to set up Ivan Cruz for the point after attempt here. Low snap. They've got to get it up, and the kick is on its way and good. You've got to hand it to the holder in that situation. That's Alex Reese. Did a good job of managing to get that ball under control, putting it up there for Ivan Cruz to
showed us his good hands. He's a baseball player and does really well, but excellent job. The kick was a little low, but it still sailed across.
It did its job. 8-7 now is the Cougar leader. We're going to take a quick break and be right back.
Well, we needed that.
We want to thank you again for joining us, Morris Lipson Jr. and Ruben Valadez, alongside with you here on Eagle Pass Sports Central on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, and soon to be our brand new rebranded Eagle Pass Sports Central webpage. Join us there. Oh, that ball was touched and luckily picked up by one of the Cougars, but the Eagles were right there, and that would have been an important turnover there at about the 35 after that Ivan Cruz kickoff. That seems to be the strategy. We noticed it against Taft 2 weeks ago. Short kicks.
And good coverage.
And very good coverage, and it almost paid off for the Eagles right there.
That one that we had, the Cougars had two receivers over there that kind of ball was in between them, and they looked at each other. Finally, one came up and didn't really make a clean catch, and the Cougars were extremely lucky that they were able to pounce on that fumble.
Cougars will start from their own 34-yard line now with 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter. 8-7 is the Canyon lead. Ford in the backfield by himself, takes a snap, looks downfield, tries to run, and he gets tripped up right at the 30-yard line. He'll be down at the 31. Great job there by Number six, Anthony Paniagua in the backfield, tripping him up for a loss.
We had a linebacker blitz, and the quarterback came up in the pocket, but our pursuit got him.
So a loss of 3 makes it a 2nd and 13 now coming up for Canyon. Ford in the backfield takes the snap, hands off to Reagan, and he'll go right up the middle of the formation to about the original line of scrimmage to bring him down at the 35, but it's now going to be a 3rd and long for the Cougars.
What we have to watch here, they've setting us up with the run and maybe a little fake to the running back and then dropping back and trying to drop it behind our coverage.
3rd and 9 now coming up for the Cougars. Ball in the middle of the hash marks. Canyon moving from left to right. Ford takes the snap, drops straight back to pass. Now rolls left, still looking for somebody open. Long pass, and it is intercepted at the 30-yard line over on the far side of the field. Jorge Martinez with the interception is going to come all the way down here to the near sideline. But the first turnover of the game, and the Eagles strike just a heave downfield, Morris, and Jorge Martinez was right in the area.
You have to hand it to the Eagle defense. They bought the pressure, and it flushed the quarterback forward out to the left side, which is, by the way, his weak side, and he just went downfield through it, and we had two defenders down there that were able, one of them, make the interception.
Jorge Martinez with the interception gives the ball back to the Eagles in good field position. They are here at the 43-yard line, still in their territory. But the Eagle offense comes out again to try to strike. This Cougar defense has given up 40 points, over 40 points in both of their losses. So it is a defense that can be scored on. Barrera from the shotgun. Low snap, has to pick it up. Hands off to...
This is not Luis Flores.
That's Embry. Is that number
21?
Yeah, that's Avery Embry with the carry, and he gets it across the 45 to the 47.
Very important for Embry and Flores to establish the Eagle running game here in this football game, because that'll open up the airways.
2nd and 6 for the Eagles now. Ball on the near hash mark at the 47-yard line. Barrera in the shotgun. Has 2 receivers here to the short side of the formation. And again, Embry and Flores in the backfield with him. This handoff is to Luis Flores, who bounces right. He'll be brought down after a gain of maybe a couple of yards to the 49, and it's a 3rd and about 5 now coming up for the Eagles.
Ball is right at the 40, almost the 49-yard line in Eagle territory.
3rd and 4 for the Eagles now. Barrera in the shotgun. We'll have Luis Flores in the backfield with him, 2 receivers on either side of the formation. They'll look over to the far sideline to get the audible after they saw the defensive scheme there. It looked like they were going to have 2 extra rushers coming. There's only 3 down linemen on the defense for the Cougars. Here is a quick slant to Sebastian Velasquez, caught at the 45, turns upfield at the 40, 35 before getting tripped up. And the Eagles are now in Cougar territory with another first down at the 35-yard line.
great job offensively by the Eagle offense, especially the quarterback. The Cougars were faking the blitz, but they did not draw in any movement from our offensive line, and they very, calmly got the audible. Barrera took that play clock all the way under 5 seconds.
And Sebastian Velasquez again has the ability to be open when his quarterback needs him to. Ball on the near hash mark at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Barrera takes the snap. Will hand off to Luis Flores, who comes here to the near sideline, turns a corner right at the 35, and is pushed out of bounds here on the near sideline at the 32.
Eagles sustaining a drive here. A drive that started after the interception, the turnover. Ball now sitting at the Cougar 32-yard line on a 2nd and 7.
Barrera in the shotgun again with the ball on the near hash mark. He's got Sebastian Velasquez split out over to the far side, and Luis Flores in the backfield with him. Here's a direct snap to Luis Flores. He hands off to Javi Barrera, and Barrera's able to turn the corner over on the far side. There he goes at the 20, and we had a flip in the roles there, Morris. We had Luis Flores getting the snap and handing off to his quarterback.
What made that play was, some really nifty ball handling, and Barrera heading to the opposite side, had a really good cut, and then took off toward the sideline to get the first down.
Barrera went out of bounds over on the far side at the 18-yard line. That is where the ball will be placed over on the far hash mark. 1st and 10 for the Eagles now in the red zone in Cougar territory. This is the Eagles' second drive of the game. They got the ball on the first turnover of the game, an interception by Jorge Martinez. Here's a handoff to Luis Flores, and Flores will get pushed back at the line of scrimmage. No gain for him there. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Eagles.
No gain there, but they are setting up the running game and getting them used to Luis Flores, banging the middle there. And, of course, Barrera with enough speed to work outside and extend plays.
3 receivers over to the left side of the formation, the near side to us. 2.5 minutes left here in the first quarter. Eagles are down by a point, 8-7, but threatening inside the red zone here. Barrera in the shotgun has Luis Flores on his right hip. He'll take the snap, looks right first. He's going to go in that direction, and the pass is over the head of the intended receiver over on the far side. There was a little bit of contact there, no flags on the play. I was about
to say the same thing, that right as they crossed the goal line, there was a little bit of contact that completely separated the coverage from our receivers, but our receiver turned around and said, hey, that slowed me down. That may have been the reason I couldn't catch up with that football.
Intended receiver over on the far side is number 18, Alex Mayen. Number 16, Jeremiah Silva over on that far side. 3rd and 10 now for the Eagles. 2 receivers on either side of the formation. Barrera drops straight back to pass, rolls right now, lets the pass go, and it is incomplete and nearly intercepted. He was looking for Jeremiah Silva again over on the far side of the field, and now Ivan Cruz will come on for the field goal attempt.
Ivan Cruz doing a good job for the Eagles, all year long. He's been just perfect almost.
He was a hero in that Taft game with a 43-yarder and a 41-yarder in that game. This will be a 35-yard field goal if he can get it through the uprights. Going to put the ball down at the 25-yard line for Ivan Cruz. Good snap, good hold. The kick is on its way, and it is good. And Ivan Cruz puts 3 points on the board up for the Eagles with 2:05 left in the first quarter. The Eagles take their first lead of the game, and we're going to take a quick break. Ivan Cruz, after that 35-yard field goal, gives the Eagles a 10-8 lead, and we'll kick off now. There's one man back deep for the Cougars, but from what we've seen so far from the Eagles special teams, that ball will be nowhere near the return man here. Here's another short kick at about the 30, and it'll be fielded at the 27-yard line by one of the men on the far side of the field for the Cougars. He's going to get pushed back. They'll give him forward progress to the 30, and that is where the Cougars will start.
That kick is just, he's practiced that so much, I would imagine, that he puts it about in the same place every time.
I think that's what the idea is he's aiming for that 30-yard line each time, knowing that the best returners for the return team are not sitting there. That's the coverage team. The returners are back in the end zone.
And he gets enough height on it to give our coverage team time to get there.
It's a good strategy down there. Coca Ruiz is the special teams coordinator for the Eagles. Here come the Canyon Cougars with Knox Ford in the shotgun. The handoff is to Reagan, and he's going to get swallowed up by the Eagle defense for a loss of a yard back to the 29.
We had a flock of eagles, I guess, if that's what you can call them. I don't know. Maybe a bunch of eagles are called something different.
Eagles are usually they're flying by themselves, I think, but we'll call it a flock for the purposes of this ball game in that play right there. 2nd and 11 coming up for the Cougars with about a minute and a half left here in the first quarter. Eagles are leading 10-8. Another handoff for Reagan. He'll try to bounce right. We'll see if the defense can hold. Great job back here at the 26-yard line. This is Rodrigo Garcia, who stayed home, Morris, and made that huge tackle for a loss against Reagan.
Not only stayed home, he made a great open field tackle. Got him right around the ankles and tripped him up enough to bring him down.
A loss of 3 yards, going to bring up a 3rd and 14 now for the Cougars with the ball here on the near hash mark. Just about a minute left in the first quarter. Ford will take the snap, draw straight back to pass. Here comes the defensive pressure, has to roll left. Now he's going to keep it, and he will be brought down a couple of yards past the original line of scrimmage at the 32. So nothing doing there on the quarterback keeper, and the punt team now will come on for the Cougars.
Ford took off to the opposite side of the field, the open side, white side of the field, but you had number 6 there, Anthony Paniagua, in pursuit, actually come across and make the tackle from behind.
Ryan Rhea will be back here to receive this punt, standing at about his own 35-yard line. "20 seconds and counting." Here's a fake punt, and that did not work. They tried a little pitch forward to Reagan, who was standing there at about the 30-yard line. The Eagle coverage team was right there to respond to it, and the Eagles are going to have great field position here at the Cougar 30-yard line.
A little shovel pass that I think surprised the receiver, and all of a sudden it says, hey, well, what am I supposed to do with this? And the Eagles, a great job of Eagle defense of getting this football back and on that fake punt to get great field position.
That was a long way to go for a fake punt. That was 14 yards.
Well, I think it was going to be throw it back to him and go downfield.
Oh, a flea flicker maybe.
Flea flicker.
Nothing doing there, though, and the Eagles are going to start at the Cougar 29-yard line now. 14 seconds left here in the first quarter. Those of you looking to watch this game back home in Eagle Pass, district policy here at Comala ISD, no live video feeds, and so you are listening to Morris and I here on our Facebook and YouTube page. Quick pass here, caught by Barba at the 15, and Barba goes down the middle of the field and into the end zone for the touchdown, a 29-yard touchdown strike from Javi Barrera to Barba Morris, and the Eagles have 6 more points on the board.
2 receivers right in the area, but Javier Barrera knew exactly who he was going to bullet that football to, cutting across over to the far side of the field, and Barba takes it into the end zone.
That comes with 5 seconds left in the first quarter. Ivan Cruz will come on for the point after attempt. 16-8 is the Eagle lead for now, pending the point after. Ivan Cruz gets the kick up and through, and it is good. And the Eagles now have a 17-8 lead with 5 seconds left in the first quarter. We're going to take a quick break. The Eagles now have a 17-8 lead. Thank you, those of you that are joining us on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel here at Eagle Pass Sports Central. A quick strike there, Morris. After a weird series of events, the Cougars were all set to punt, a botched fake punt, and then in no time at all, the Eagles, a quick strike from Javi Barrera to Jesus Barba, 29-yard touchdown pass. Here's a kickoff by Ivan Cruz. And it is fair caught right where he's aiming for, at the 30-yard line over on the far side. That's where the Cougars will start.
Each one of those kickoffs like a carbon copy. It's like, you kind of practice it in practice and say, this is where the football's got to hit.
You could put a bucket there at the 30, and Ivan Cruz might just hit it. They're almost, like you said, carbon copies of each other, all of these kickoffs from Ivan Cruz. It's working for the Eagles so far. The line of scrimmage will be the 29.
5 seconds left before the end of the first quarter. If you just joined us, a 17-8 Eagles lead.
Ford in the shotgun, puts a receiver in motion, fakes the handoff, now rolling right, and he is brought down at the 21-yard line. Anthony Paniagua in the backfield with the pressure, was able to bring down Ford for a huge sack all the way at the 21. We're going to switch sides of the field very quickly. That's the end of the first quarter, and the Eagles have a 17-8 lead. Back with you now.
Ruben, one of the things here is that, after they blitzed us on the first possession, just went downfield and scored, the Eagles have just come back. They've stormed back for a 17-8 lead and have made some great defensive adjustments.
After that sack, it is a 2nd down and 18. Ball's at the 21-yard line for the Cougars, now moving from right to left. Here's another keeper by Ford. This time he's got room up the middle, and he will get across the 35 to the 36-yard line. And I think, that was Ford with the carry there. It's going to be a 3rd and 4 now for the Cougars.
Ball sitting right outside the 35-yard line. This is an important 3rd down conversion.
If they want to keep the momentum going, the Eagles looking to shut that down. They'll put a man in motion over to the top side of the formation. The handoff is to Reagan, and Reagan is trying to move the pile, but the Eagles are on him quickly. A gain of only a yard to the 37 and no further, and it's a 4th and short now coming up for the Cougars.
Alex Reeves, number 2, and number 6, Anthony Paniagua, right there to make sure that he did not get the first down.
Well, on comes the punting team, but we've seen this before. We'll see if the Cougars try. There's no return man as of yet back here for the Eagles, so the Eagles are in a safe formation, and all eyes are on the punter here. number 20, Nolan Hamidi. He'll get the punt off. Again, no return man back there as the Eagles had a safe formation on. The punt will take a Cougar bounce inside the 20 over on the far side of the field, and the Eagles will start at the 18.
Eagles not taking any chances there. They were ready in case they tried another fake punt, and they had no punt returner back, and that ball rolls inside the 20. It's being placed at the 18-yard line where the Eagles will set up house.
With 10:28 left in the first half, Eagles looking to add to their lead. Javi Barrera will be in the shotgun. 3 receivers in a diamond formation here to the near side. Ball on the far hash mark. The handoff is to Luis Flores, and Flores has some room on the left side of the line. He'll put his head down at about the 23 and be brought down there over on the far side of the field.
Flores going over, like you said, to the far side of the field, and boy, he just barrels into just a bunch of players and a bunch of blockers, and he does get it out to the 23-yard line.
Where it's a 2nd and 5 for the Eagles. 10:02 left here in the first half. The Eagles were caught on their heels during the Cougars' first offensive drive. A touchdown after 3 long plays and then a 2-point conversion, but they have found their way now, especially on defense, and the Eagle offense has struck quickly as well. Here is looked to be a lateral, and it was caught, but down on one knee right after the catch at the 19-yard line was Marco Medellin and didn't have room to maneuver. It's going to be a loss back here to the 20, to the 19, and it's now going to be a 3rd and 9 for the Eagles.
This is a crucial, critical 3rd down for the Eagles here.
Ball on the near hash mark at the 19-yard line. Eagles moving from left to right now. Barrera into shotgun, has 3 receivers over to the far side, one split out wide right, and Luis Flores in the backfield with him. Barrera will drop back to pass. Here comes the rush. He's got a roll right. He's going to try to keep it himself. He's at the 25, at the 30, 35, and he has more than enough for an Eagle first down to the 33-yard line as he comes here to the near sideline.
They had 3 receivers over to the far side, so the Cougar defense expecting some kind of pass over there. Barrera came on pretty much a naked bootleg coming this way and just straddled the sideline to get the first down.
A scamper out of bounds at the 34. It's a first down there for the Eagles from the near hash mark. Quick pump. Now he's got to keep it, and he'll try to get a couple of yards there, and he does across the 35 to the 36. It looked like he looked for his receiver. Man wasn't there, and he elected to just eat it there and get as many yards as he could.
He looked over there, and like you said, the receiver was not there, so he did the right thing. He, tucked it and went right up the middle.
Ball at the 36 now, 2nd and 8 for the Eagles. Barrera into shotgun with 2 running backs in the backfield with him. The handoff is to Embry. Embry tries the right side of the line. He'll have first contact at the 38, and then we'll try to move the pile forward. They'll give him forward progress to the 38, and it's going to be a 3rd and about 6 now for the Eagles.
They stood Embry up and then got a lot of help to make the tackle.
Third and 6 now from the 38-yard line. Barrera dropping back to pass. Goes over to the far side, and it is intercepted at the 44-yard line over on the far hash mark. Trying to get a number for this young man here. Is that number 8 on our roster? Dion Yanez with the interception on a ball that just quite didn't have enough air under it.
Well, what happened is Barrera got blitzed, not by 1, but 2. And they were on him really, really quick. And had to throw that football in a hurry. We did have a receiver in the area.
Cougars will take over at the 44. with 7:38 left. Here's a handoff to Reagan. Reagan right up the middle of the line to about midfield to the 49-yard line.
So the Cougars get a break, and let's see if they can capitalize on that.
Second turnover of the ball game, one interception for each team so far here. The Cougars have a 2nd and 5 from right about midfield at the 49-yard line, still in their own territory. 7:07 and counting here in the second quarter. Here is a keeper by Ford who bounces right and is finally brought down right at the line to get for a first down into Eagle territory now at the 46-yard line.
Coming from across the field to make the tackle, it looks like number 18. Alex Mayen.
And so the Cougars have a first down now with the ball on the far hash mark, and Ford in the shotgun with Reagan on his right hip, 2 receivers on either side of the formation. Here's a pass back, and then Reagan, a forward pass down here to the near sideline, tipped by Jorge Martinez, who stayed home with his receiver, streaking down the near sideline on a little trick play, backward toss to Reagan, and then a pass attempt down the near sideline.
Little halfback pass that our number 7 stayed home, Jorge Martinez, and then I got a little help from our safety who came over. We actually had 2 defenders there.
And so it's a 2nd and 10 now from the 46 in Eagle territory. Man in motion across the formation as Ford is in the shotgun. They'll put a blocker there now. They'll move him to the right side of the line. The handoff is to Reagan, who tries to turn the corner or on the far side, now gets north and south and is able to eat up some yards there before being brought down over on the far side of the field, just shy of the 40 at the 41.
One thing we can say about this Eagle defense, we've got a lot of pursuit, and we get quickly to the ball.
The Eagles are on the man with the football quickly, and we've talked to defensive coordinator Ricky Ruiz, and that's what they preach down there is that they've got to hurry to the football. We do have an injury over on the far side of the field. One of the Cougar players is down and being looked after. 6:09 left in the second quarter. 17-8 is the Eagle lead over the Canyon Cougars. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. The man coming off the field for the Cougars is their star running back, Jackson Reagan. And Reagan, Morris, was barely able to put any pressure on that right foot. They're going to take a look at him down here on the near sideline. In the meantime, we'll see what the Cougars have in that backup position. The handoff goes to the backup running back. Who'll get a first down to the 36-yard line.
This looks like if we can get a number on him.
It's at 34 with the carry. There's Quincy Jones. There's no way that's kid's real name, but Quincy Jones here.
It is. Quincy Jones.
Down on the field.
First down here.
First down from the 35-yard line. Another handoff to Jones, and this time he's met in the backfield, and they'll drive him back. They'll give him forward progress to the 37. It's going to be a second and long now after that second handoff in a row to Jones.
Number 24 shot the gap, Ricardo Martinez, and came in and just stood him up and then waited for some help.
And so it's going to be a second and 12 now. Back here from the 37-yard line for the Cougars. 5:11 left in the first half. The Eagles do get the ball first in the second half as they kicked off to start the game. Ford with a keeper, bounces right, and he's got Eagles all over his back there again. A great job by number 24, Ricardo Martinez, constantly after the man with the football and is able to bring Ford back there down after a gain of only a yard. 3rd and 11 now coming up from the 36.
He faked the handoff and headed off to the far side of the field, but once again, a great job, like you mentioned, by number 24, Ricardo Martinez, coming in pursuit to make the tackle.
3rd and 11 for the Cougars now with 4.5 minutes left here in the second quarter. Ball on the far hash mark. Ford in the shotgun, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, drops back, steps into the pocket. Here's a throw, and it is caught. We are back with you here. Here is the kickoff. It will be fielded by Luis Flores. Luis Flores here at about the 5-yard line. Takes to the near hash mark as the Eagles are going left to right. And they'll give him forward progress to the 20. And now Morris with 4:09 left here in the second quarter. The Eagles really need to answer down or up just by 3.
Well, the Cougars scored on the opening drive and have just come back on that pass deep down the middle. And you're exactly right. The Eagle offense here has got a little over 4 minutes to, put it in the end zone.
They were able to score some points here and then come back in the second half and get the ball first and able to do something. They could get some good insurance points for themselves. Barrera's going to be in the shotgun by himself. 3 receivers here to the near side of the formation and 2 over to the top side. And that is a full start as the Eagles were not together on the snap count there. And it's going to cost them 5 yards back to the 15.
Those are the penalties that really hurt. The pre-snap penalties, because it puts you back 5 yards, with not an opportunity to gain any yards.
1st and 15 now for the Eagles from the 15-yard line. Again, the Eagles have a 17-14 lead. 2 touchdowns scored in this game, one by Luis Flores and another one by Sebastián Velázquez. and a 35-yard field goal by Ivan Cruz. Barrera, here comes the blitz, has to step up, has room, lets the pass go, and he's got Sebastian Velasquez streaking down the far sideline, and Velasquez has only Green in front of him at the 25, jukes him in at the 10, and will finally be brought down inside the 10-yard line. Sebastian Velasquez, Morris, in single coverage, streaking down the far sideline, caught that in stride at about the 50, and then was managed to slow down just enough on the tackle.
The great work done by Barrera, though. Barrera stepped up in the pocket to the far side and realized he had one-on-one coverage down the sideline, and he led him just perfectly. And had it not been for the defender that actually barely tripped up Velasquez, he would have sailed into the end zone.
It's going to be a 1st and goal for the Eagles from the 8-yard line. Deep in Cougar territory now with 3:15 left, and the Eagles are going to call their first timeout of the half. You want to make sure that you've got your play call and you've got time. You've got all 3 timeouts. You want to make sure that you've got the right play called here in a crucial moment in the first half.
Well, I think they were a little there was a little confusion down there as to what was going to be the next play, and the Eagles just played it safe and said, hey, we're close to answering that touchdown. Let's make sure we get it right, especially when we are inside the 10 and we have a 1st and goal from there.
We're going to keep it right here, and we'll stay with you as the Eagles take their first timeout of the first half. You got to hand it to Javi Barrera, as you mentioned in that last play, Morris. He had room, up from our vantage point up here in the booth. You see all the room that he's got. Maybe he wants to run, but he kept his eyes downfield, and he knew where his man was, Sebastian Velasquez, streaking down the far side.
Definitely a result of a good job of scouting, because when you look over there was only 2 football players over there. One of them was Sebastian Velasquez, and the other one was the defensive back who was trailing him by about 2 or 3 steps.
And then really the accuracy to hit Velasquez in stride. Here come the Eagles on a 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. 2 running backs in the backfield with Barrera. The handoff is to, it's actually a keeper by Barrera, and he's going to go into the end zone on an 8-yard touchdown run to give the Eagles 6 more points with 3:08 left in the second quarter. Barrera with great ball handling skills there, faked it to Embry and then went into the end zone.
I was about to say that he even faked us out. And great ball handling. We figured that they had stopped them there in the middle of the line. And Barrera, by that time, was streaking to the far side of the field and heading for the end zone.
23-14 for now is the Eagle lead. Ivan Cruz on to attempt the point after. The kick is on its way, and it is good. And that's going to make the score Eagles 24, Cougars 14 with 3:08 left in the first half. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Ivan Cruz will be kicking off his first kickoff in this direction so far. And he's aiming for the 30, a little short of it this time. That's a live ball.
And did we get it or not?
Well, the officials are saying that
it went out of bounds?
Yeah, that it did go out of bounds, I guess, before one of the Eagle players touched it. But again, that's one of the dangers in kickoff returns is that is a live ball on a kickoff, and whichever team can come up with it will get possession. But the Cougars will have possession here, and they're going to start, looks like, at the 37-yard line.
They're talking about it over there. The officials, they're saying that ball really go out of bounds because we know an Eagle did end up with it. And they're saying, maybe he's reminding everybody that it was a live ball. And
they'll spot the ball for Canyon, though, at the 37-yard line. It'll be a first down from there.
And what do the Eagles need here? Well, they need a quick stop and then try to put more points on the board.
Make sure that Donovan Craycraft does not get behind them on this possession. Here is a keeper for Ford, and he eats up a bunch of yards into Eagle territory at the 44-yard line.
That one was too easy. We really did not have the middle. They were looking at the back, and they left it wide open.
So the Cougars punching back here late in the second quarter. Ball's at the 44. Ford will put Craycraft in motion. Fakes the handoff to him, drops back, pass down the middle of the field, incomplete, overthrown for the intended receiver, streaking up the far hash mark. I believe that's number 86 for the Cougars. And on the incompletion, it'll be a second down. Clock stops with 2:31 left.
You look down that time, there was 4 Cougar receivers. We had 5 Eagle defenders blanketing the field there.
Second and 10 now for the Cougars from the 44 in Eagle territory. Ford will hand off.
This is going to be the other running back.
Quincy Jones with the carry, and he's dropped at the 36, about 2 yards shy of a first down.
And this is third down.
3rd and 2 coming up for the Cougars with 2:08 left. The Cougars do have should have all 3 of their timeouts left. They do. And Jones again with the carry here. We do see Reagan back on the field. That's number 5 standing there. And now the Cougars will use their first timeout of the half. It's actually the 2-minute. We keep forgetting about that.
That keeps throwing us off, doesn't it?
It's the 2-minute timeout this year. Eagles lead 24-14, and the Cougars threatening here late in the second quarter with the ball at the Eagle 35.
So we're almost done with the first half of football, in which, as we expected, has been a high-scoring affair so far. But the key here being that the Eagle defense, with some exceptions, has really, been able to figure out what the Cougars are doing on offense.
They've put a lot of good pressure on Ford in the backfield, and really, except for that miraculous catch by Craycraft this past possession, the Eagles would have a comfortable lead in this game. But the Cougars are not giving up here. They keep throwing punches. And with 2 minutes left, they've got another opportunity here in Eagle territory. 24-14 is the Eagle lead. Thank you for joining us on Eagle Pass Sports Central on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Ford is going to be in the shotgun with 3 receivers here to the near side and 1 split out wide right. And Jones in the backfield with him. Fakes the handoff, steps up in the pocket. Now he's got room in front of him, and the Eagles are able to trip him up as he crosses the 25, inside the 25 to the 24, goes forward.
That is another first down for the Cougars. Eagles making some substitutions very quickly as the Cougars hurry up to the line of scrimmage.
Ball is on the near hash mark at the 24-yard line. 3 receivers all bunched up here. That's the direction that Ford is looking initially as the pass blocking holds up, rolls right, gets it to Jones, in the right flat over on the far side of the field, and Jones will be held up at the 15-yard line, just a yard shy of a first down.
One of the things that has been missing in this possession, this offensive possession for the Cougars, is the pressure. We have not seen the pressure on the quarterback on Ford that the Eagles were bringing before.
He had a lot of time to run, to look downfield and get the pass off there. Now the Cougars have used their first timeout of the first half. We're going to take that timeout with them and be right back. (24-14) is the Eagle lead. The Cougars have a 2nd and 1 here from the 15-yard line. And we want to say hello to the Samaniego family listening in on Eagle Pass Sports Central, to Jose and Diana and all of their family. Thank you so much for joining us here. And they are for sure cheering for the Eagles after several of their boys went through this Eagles athletic program. Here's a keeper by Ford. He's got the first down, and they'll give him forward progress just to about the line to reach. He's at the 13, but it is a Cougar first down.
And that's all he basically wanted to get now, is now the ball is at the 13, quickly to the line of scrimmage.
Still 2 timeouts left for the Cougars. 50 seconds left on the clock here in the first half. Straight drop for Ford, and he's going to get sacked on a defensive back blitz. Alex Ruiz coming in from the right side of the defensive formation, knifed right through. Nobody put a hand on him, Morris, and he was able to get to the quarterback.
Timeout being called now by the Cougars with 43 seconds left.
And amazing, you talked about it, about the play of this Eagle defense, and on that knifing play, Anthony Paniagua coming in and doing a great job.
And Cougars have called another timeout. 43 seconds left before the half. It is going to be 2nd and 20 to go with the ball on the 23-yard line. The Cougars still have 1 timeout. The Eagles have 2. But the Cougars trying to knock on the door. What the Eagles need to guard against here is, with 43 seconds left, more than likely they're going to go over the middle and try to get it around the goal line.
That was a big sack and a big moment here of the game. Here is Ford looking downfield. Here comes a pressure, has to step up in the pocket, rolls left, lets a pass go into the end zone, and it is nearly intercepted. Ryan Ray with some really great coverage there in the back of the end zone.
He was there, and had he been able to hold on to that, that would have been a huge defensive play for the Eagles. 35 seconds left on the clock.
That was a huge sack because you make them use one of those timeouts. Now they've only got 1 here in the game. They've got to be cautious with it. If they're going to try to get the field goal kicker on here for 3 points before the end of the half, they're going to have to eat up that timeout to do it.
This is a 3rd and long, 3rd and 20.
3rd and 20. Clock stops on the incompletion with 35 seconds left. Here comes the pressure right up the middle. Ford with a quick swing pass to Jones in the left flat. And Jones, in a good job of keeping him in bounds in that tackle there by Rodrigo Garcia. And the clock continues to tick. We'll see what the Cougars want to do here.
Well, they're probably going to tick it down and kick a field goal. 13-12, still counting down. You're going to get it maybe to 2-3 seconds and then send in the field goal unit.
It's a 4th and 15 as things stand now. There's the timeout with 2 seconds left on the clock here in the first half. And the Cougars will use that timeout, in all likelihood, we think, to set up a field goal.
Let me tell you something. We're going to try to keep it right here because there's 2 seconds left, 24-14. They're going to kick a field goal. Eagles with 2 timeouts. Do you ice this guy?
Well, you can't take him with you, right?
No.
No use leaving those timeouts in your pocket. So why not try to ice the kicker if you've got them available to you? They don't carry over to the second half.
And the way that you do that, actually, you plan it well. You get them almost ready to snap the ball, and then you call the timeout, and you're trying to throw off the kicker's rhythm.
And on for the kick here is Carlos Enriquez. This is going to be a 35-yard attempt, just like Ivan Cruz's, almost from the exact same place on the field. They're going to put the ball down at the 25 for Enriquez with 2 seconds left. Not much of a wind, but what is at the Cougars' back at this point. And just as you called it, Morris, there's a timeout on the far side of the field to ice Enriquez and make him think about it a little more.
I saw that our Eagle coach over there get up to him and tell him, hey, I want the timeout before the snap, right? Or why when you think you're going to snap it. So, and we'll probably see it again.
We'll see what the Eagles choose to do here. They've had good special teams play in this game. They snuffed out a fake punt early on in the first half that gave the Eagle offense good field position. And so the Eagles are working on all cylinders here.
And the worst thing that can happen to a kicker is that the timeout comes from the far side of the field and they don't hear his whistle or whatever, and you snap it and he kicks it and it's good. And then that official comes trekking across there and saying, hey, there was a timeout.
Again, a 25-yard field goal attempt by Carlos Enriquez. Here is the snap, the hold. The kick is on its way, and that is good. And so the last play of the first half is 3 points for the Canyon Cougars, and it's going to make the score 24-17 at halftime. Morris, we thought we'd see a lot of action here in the first half, and
we have. And it started off with a blitzing drive by the Cougars to open the football game. I think what did it take? 3 plays to get downfield and put it in the end zone. Not only that, then they surprised our defense with that swinging gate 2-point conversion, and quickly it was 8-0. In just with a few seconds. But the Eagles have done well. They've responded well on offense and have put up 24 points on the board. Late, we saw the Cougars add another 7 points on that catch that both of you and I were saying. It just was a surprise.
It's a miraculous catch.
It was
from where it was, but Craycraft put those points on the board. Still a tight game here at the half. Eagles up only by a touchdown. Eagles do get the ball back first to start the second half. Morris and I will be back with you for second half action. We do want to thank our sponsors, Ancida Ford of Eagle Pass, Brown Chevrolet of Eagle Pass, State Representative Eddie Morales and Church's Barbecue for their broadcast, for their sponsorship of these broadcasts. We'll be back for second half action here on Eagle Pass Sports Central. We are ready for the second half of action here from Cougar Stadium in New Braunfels. Eagles will receive the opening kickoff of the second half. A 24-17 lead for the Eagles to open the second half here. We see the folks who have made the trip up I-35.
And they've increased a little bit when we first started. Just had a few over there, but some people have made it in.
You were waiting, I think, for the sun to go down maybe.
Well, it's a long, you catch that I-35 Friday afternoon rush down the San Antonio-Austin corridor.
And we
were talking a little bit about the Eagles on defense. Are missing Manny Fernandez, who's out for this game. Will be back next game.
Stout defensive pressure by Manny Fernandez there, or defensive presence for the Eagle defense, and certainly hope he'll be able to return next week. Here's a kickoff that is fair caught by Sebastian Velasquez at about the 6-yard line or so. And so the Eagles are going to have to go a good ways. They'll bring him back out here to the 25.
So we're ready to go here in the second half. Let's see the Eagles with an opportunity to see what adjustments they've made on offense. And we're going to have to wait a little bit before we see what the Eagle defense has in store to try to slow down the Cougars.
The formula for the Eagles in that first half, the familiar one, Javi Barrera to Sebastian Velasquez, although he found Barba also for the second of their touchdowns. Barrera's going to open up the second half with no one else in the backfield with him. 3 receivers over to the top side of the formation and 2 down here to the near side. Eagles moving from right to left. Barrera will make the line call and then be in the shotgun. There's a snap, drops back. Has to roll right. He's got room to run if he wants it. Instead, he's got Silva wide open over on the far side of the field. And Silva with the catch in Cougar territory. Jeremiah Silva Morris had about 6 or 7 steps on his defender.
Well, extending the play and making him respect the ability of our quarterback to run the football made that play. He drew him up, and then Silva had, 2, 3, 4 steps on the defender.
Absolutely. Had gotten behind the defense. Ball on the far hash mark in Cougar territory now at the 36-yard line. Quick strike to start the second half for the Eagles. Now Luis Flores bounces right and heads north and south as he crosses the 35 into the 35 to the 34-yard line where it's going to be a second and about 8.
Luis Flores having an evening tonight. He's also playing a little bit of middle linebacker, as we were noticing there in the first half.
Filling in some of those defensive spots where the Eagles have some players sitting out, at least for this game. Just at the start of the second half, Eagles have the ball. They receive the ball to start the third quarter. And very quickly after a long pass from Javi Barrera to Jeremiah Silva, the Eagles are in Cougar territory at the 34. Second and 8 from there. Barrera's got to get the snap off. Does just in time. Now rolls right. Still with his eyes downfield. Lets the pass go, and it is incomplete. He was kind of in between receivers there as he looked downfield, and it's going to be a 3rd and 8 now on the incompletion.
Had a receiver on the far side that Barrera took off to the far side of the field, then pulled up and tried to throw across the middle, over the middle, and had a receiver open on the far sideline.
Had Sebastian Velasquez open right in front of him, looked towards the middle of the field, as you were saying, and the ball fell incomplete. 10:28 left in the third quarter. Barrera again in the backfield all by himself. 3 receivers here to the near side, 2 over to the top side of the formation. Gets the snap. Here comes the pressure. Has to get rid of it quickly, and it is incomplete, intended in the middle of the field for his receiver, Joaquin Hernandez. Good coverage there by the Cougar secondary. And in this part of the field, we're going to see if the Eagles will punt to try to pin them deep, or if they will keep their offense on the field and try to get a first down.
Well, when you kick off, most of the time you end up around the 30-yard line. So
that's right.
This is, a good fourth down attempt.
Eagle offense stays on the field on 4th and 8 from the 34. Barrera is going to have Luis Flores on his right side in the backfield and two receivers on either side of the formation. Here comes a pressure, has to step up, and they're going to sack him all the way back here near the 45-yard line at the 43. Barrera just could not evade the defensive pressure. I think I saw a flag fly late, and this might be something that they did to Javi Barrera towards the end of the play.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here. There it is.
It's a face mask as they were bringing Barrera down, and that's going to give the Eagles a first down.
What a huge break.
Huge.
Because we were talking you were going to go up at fourth down over here in this area where most of the time they were getting the football anyway. But if that sack had been back over here to the 45, would have made a huge difference. So what a huge penalty.
And Barrera was swallowed up by the defense. They were a little overzealous there in bringing him down. They call for a face mask, and the Eagles now have a first down in the red zone at the 19-yard line, ball on the far hash mark. Fresh set of downs for the Eagles.
Barrera got up on that play and immediately was going to his face mask.
And he called the first down before the officials did. He knew what was coming. From the pistol now, the handoff to Luis Flores, straight up the formation he goes. He'll be brought down just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line.
So the Eagles on their first possession of the second half with a lengthy drive here.
It's a drive that started at their own 25 and opened with a long pass to Jeremiah Silva to get the Eagles in Cougar territory. Now Barrera is in the shotgun with two receivers, two backs in the backfield with him. The handoff again to Luis Flores, who tries to bounce right, but he's going to get swallowed up by the Cougar defense there. He'll gain only a yard to the 15, and it is going to be now a 3rd and 6 for the Eagles.
Luis Flores bouncing around, all over the place. They're still working to get some yardage. Reminds me of a pinball machine.
He's low to the ground is Luis Flores, and he's able to get around tacklers and defenders. 3rd and 6, important third down conversion attempt here for the Eagles with under 10 minutes left in the third quarter, leading by a touchdown. Barrera will make the line call and then step back. He'll have twin running backs on either side. Here comes a pressure from the left side of the line. Quick pass caught at the 8-yard line. Good enough for a first down by Jeremiah Silva over on the far side. And that's exactly, the receiver knew exactly where he needed to be to get that first down, Morris. And Barrera put it right on him.
A great pass by Javi Barrera over there to get the first down inside the 10, where he'll now be first and goal.
From the 8-yard line, ball on the far hash mark. Again, twin running backs in the backfield with Barrera. Two receivers over to the far side and one split out wide left here nearest to us. Barrera will, 8.5 minutes left. Take the snap, hands off to Luis Flores, and Flores bounces around. First contact at the 5 and was able to barrel in all the way to the 1-yard line.
Got hit at the 5 and spun, searching for the end zone, and almost got there.
And so the Eagles are a yard away from pay dirt here with the ball at the far hash mark. Luis Flores will stay in the game in the backfield with Barrera. 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Eagles up by a touchdown and threatening
Fine defensive play because that was intended for number 1.
Good job on defense there as the pass falls incomplete. We're back. Now we are back live with you with sound. And it is going to be a 4th and long for the Cougars here from the 39-yard line.
That was a great defensive play, batting that ball away.
Cougar offense will stay on the field here on a 4th and 14 from the 39. Dropping back to passes forward. He's got a wide receiver open, and the catch is made and in for the touchdown. Goes the wide receiver, and the Cougars convert on a 4th and 14, and it is a touchdown with 5:20 left in the third quarter.
Fine pass. You got to give him credit. Made by the quarterback. Knocks forward. Led him just perfect. And it's 31-23 with the point after coming.
Enriquez on for the point after attempt, which is good. And the score now is Eagles 31, Cougars 24. The Cougars not going away here in the second half. We'll be right back. Back live with you here in the third quarter. Kickoff is on its way. And it is fielded by Sebastian Velasquez at about the 5. He'll bring it out. There's a late flag as Velasquez neared the 30. We're going to see what the play call or what the penalty call is here.
We had 2 Eagles trying to block one of the punt coverage. And that flag the official right in front of them. So more than likely, we're going to get a hold.
It's a hold. It'll bring the return back from Sebastian Velasquez.
5:11 left here in the third quarter, and it's 31-24 as the Cougars have answered on a 4th down conversion that went for a touchdown. As here come the Eagles.
Barrera in the shotgun. Line of scrimmage is the 19. The handoff goes to Luis Flores, and Flores is able to get across the 20 to the 21-yard line, a couple of yards on the carry.
We're going to bring up a 2nd down and 8. The Eagles really need to get some first downs here, get better field position.
And it is a 2nd and 8 now for the Eagles from the 21-yard line. Eagles holding on to a 7-point lead. Again, the last 2 games for this Cougar team, they've allowed over 40 points, both losses for the Cougars. So the Eagle offense has some room to maneuver here. That's a little swing pass that goes off of the hands of Embry, the intended receiver, coming out of the backfield on the right flat. Clock will stop on the incompletion. And more importantly, it's a third down, Morris, deep in their own territory for the Eagles.
3rd and 8 from their own 21. The Eagles here need to at least get a fresh set of downs.
4:18 left in the third quarter. Eagles up by a touchdown, and a big third down conversion attempt coming up here for the Eagle offense. Barrera will take the snap, drops back, steps up, evades the pressure, and now they're going to bring him down back there at about the 10-yard line. The Cougar defense is dialing up the pressure exactly when they need to. They're being able to get home. That's a couple of times now we've seen them get home on Javier Barrera. The Eagles are going to have to punt from very near their own end zone.
Barrera tried to step up in the pocket, and they sort of latched onto him around the shoulder pad area and slowed him down enough so they could make the sack.
On for the point is Bastian Medina. On for the punt is Bastian Medina. The Eagles get one more returner or one more
going to have to hurry here. Clock, we're about to run out of clock.
And I don't know if the Eagles were able to
call a timeout.
Yes, they were able to get the timeout called in time. And so with 3:26 left in the third quarter, Eagles with a 31-24 lead. We'll be right back. This punt will come from right on the end line, and it is blocked and goes into the end zone. Let's see who can fall on top of it. The Cougars do, and it is a Cougar touchdown as Bastian Medina was trying to punt that ball off. Good job on the punt rush by the Cougars, and we are a point away from a tie game.
You know, Ruben, when the Eagles had to call a timeout because we didn't get the right personnel on time on the field. It not only costs us a timeout, but it just gets you completely out of rhythm. And what ends up happening there is, you had to it gave him too much time to come in and block the punt.
It was a high pressure situation because he received that snap right at the goal line, and now we've got a tie ball game after that point after attempt from Enriquez is good. We're at 3:17 left in the third quarter. We're all tied up at 31. We'll be right back. Here is the kickoff after that touchdown on the blocked punt, fielded by Embry at about the 6-yard line. He's going to try to find some blockers, but not much room for him to maneuver there. And again, the Eagles are going to start this drive deep in their own territory at the 17.
We were just talking about it. We really need a momentum changer here. We've got to get a big play, sustain a drive, and most importantly, answer back with some points on the board.
All tied up at 31. A game that was at one point 31-17 in favor of the Eagles, but two consecutive unanswered touchdowns by the Cougars. An incredible pass on one and a special teams play that cost the Eagles on another, and we've got a tie ball game. Barrera, quick pass, caught over on the far side by Jeremiah Silva, trying to make his way around the defender, and he's brought out of bounds over on the far sideline after a gain of about 4 yards.
Eagle offense has to counter this Cougar defense that has become quite aggressive with good penetration, putting good pressure on Javi Barrera.
Ball's at the 21-yard line now, where it's going to be a second and about 6 for the Eagles. Here's a handoff to Luis Flores. He's got some room and stays on his feet after contact. He'll be brought down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line, a 3-yard gain there.
Very good effort by Luis Flores, who got hit immediately and still managed to get some yardage. And here we have another third down, another important third down conversion for the Eagles.
3rd and 3 from the 24-yard line as Barrera's in the backfield with 2 running backs. Here's a handoff to Luis Flores. He's going to try to get to the line to get, but they're going to hold him up in the backfield and drop him for no yards gained at the 24-yard line, and the Eagles are going to have to punt.
Going to be very important for the Eagles to get a good punt here and recover some field position, as it is a 4th down and still 3 yards to go. We're counting down. We'll be under a minute 30 by the time we snap this punt.
2 men back to receive the punt, standing at the Cougar 45-yard line. It's a good one that is fielded at the 38 over on the far side of the field. Coming here to the near sideline, looks like Jacob Rodriguez with the ball. Still on his feet at the 40, 35, and finally taken out of bounds here on the near sideline inside the 30-yard line. And Jacob Rodriguez has put some spark into this Cougar team. And again, the Cougars are going to start in good field position inside Eagle territory.
The speedy Rodriguez caught the ball on the far side of the field up against the far sideline. It cut across the field and then got north and south and went down the near sideline to get the football all the way to the Eagle 29.
The Cougars are going to start at the 29, ball on the near hash mark. Ford into shotgun, 2 receivers here to the short side. Takes the snap, keeps it himself, tries the left side of the line. He'll be brought down after a gain of a couple of yards down at the 27.
Being hit there by Anthony Paniagua and a couple of Eagles to bring him down. It is a 2nd and 9.
Ball is at the 28-yard line, 2nd and 9 from there for the Cougars, and the Eagle defense trying to hold here in the 3rd quarter. There's a carry by Rodriguez. This is actually Quincy Jones, who turns the corner here on the near side and is able to get inside the 10 before being brought down. They're going to bring him right down, right at the 10-yard line.
Another 1st down. Now inside the red zone here that was the last play of the 3rd quarter.
We will switch sides of the field with the game tied at 31, and the Cougars threatening here as we head to the start of the 4th quarter. Back with you now here for the start of the fourth quarter in a game that's all tied up at 31. But the Cougars are threatening. Here is a keeper by Ford, and he's got room on the right side of the line, and he'll go in for the 10-yard touchdown on the quarterback keeper, and the Cougars have their first lead since the first quarter.
Really fine ball handling there by Ford. Take the handoff to his running back, went off to the far side of the field, lots of green over there, and into pay dirt.
Enriquez will come on for the point after attempt to give the Cougars a touchdown lead in a game that, again, was at 31-17 at one point, and the Cougars now have scored 3 consecutive unanswered touchdowns to make the score Cougars 38, Eagles 31. We've still got all of the fourth quarter left of action here. Stay with us on Eagle Pass Sports Central. We'll be right back. Ready for the kickoff here with 11:54 left in the ball game. The Eagles trailing 38-31. This is the first Cougar lead since very early on in the first quarter. But it's been all Cougars here. 3 touchdowns in the second half. This will be fair caught by Embry, and the Eagles are going to take this out to the 25-yard line. And if there's ever a time, Morris, when this Eagle offense needs to get back in rhythm, it is now.
It is right now after we've had 21 unanswered points by the Cougars here in the second half, and they've taken a 38-31 lead.
You're going to hand it to the Cougars. Some real defensive adjustments, particularly on defense. They've been able to get to Javi Barrera this second half in a way that they weren't able to get to him in the first half and really bother him back there in the pocket.
They've given the Cougar offense excellent field position.
Cougars have scored from good field position both times, and of course the block punt that led directly to a touchdown deep in Eagle territory.
And a great play on fourth down to get it in the end zone also.
Absolutely, a big fourth down touchdown pass. Barrera into shotgun with 2 running backs in the backfield with him. Here comes a pressure from the right side of the line. Quick pass caught by Silva at the 30. Silva turns around still on his feet, lunges forward to get some extra yards, and they're going to mark him down at the 33.
Great catch by Jeremiah Silva. Not only that, a really good pass by Javier Barrera, as he knew exactly where his receiver was going to be.
And these are the adjustments that you've got to make now with these blitzes coming from the defense. Quick passes, try to find your receivers quickly. Did there with Jeremiah Silva. 2nd and 2 for the Eagles from the 33-yard line. Ball on the near hash mark. 2 receivers over to the far side of the formation. And Silva spread out wide right, split out wide right down here. 2 running backs in the backfield along with Barrera. There's the snap, drops back to pass, looks left. There goes the pass. Barba's in the area and overthrown for Jesus Barba at about the 30-yard line in Cougar territory. Now the Eagles are going to have a 3rd and 2.
Barrera aired it out. Barba could just not catch up with it. Plus, he had double coverage on him. And you are correct again. Here is a 3rd and 2.
Big 3-point conversion attempt here, or 3rd down conversion attempt here for the Eagles. Ball is at the 33-yard line. The Eagles need 2 yards. They need to reach the 35 to get a first down. Barrera from the shotgun will take the snap. The handoff is to Luis Flores, and Flores is going to have just enough for an Eagle first down as he crosses the 35 to the 36. They're going to move the chains, and this is one of those signature Luis Flores runs, bouncing off people.
And got enough forward progress to get the first down, a very important first down for the Eagles here in the fourth quarter.
It keeps the drive alive and keeps the Eagles moving in the right direction with 10:39 left in the ball game. Eagles trailing by a touchdown, 38-31. Here comes a man in motion. That's Barba. The ball will go to him. Barba now looking to throw. Lets the pass go, and it is nearly intercepted, underthrown for Jeremiah Silva. The Eagles try to trick play there as Barba was looking downfield. Only had one receiver down there, just didn't have enough juice on the ball.
Barba rolled coming from the far side of the field, inside handoff, and tried to pull up. Really didn't have enough time to set his feet and really get anything under the football.
Well, there were two defensive backs in the area around Jeremiah Silva. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. Clock stops on the incompletion with 10:26 left in the ball game. Barrera with Luis Flores in the backfield with him has two receivers on either side of the formation. Here comes the pressure. Barrera looks to the left flat, caught by Luis Flores over the outstretched arms of a defender, and Flores still bouncing around and gets inside the 45-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 45, a yard shy of a first down.
But an excellent little drop pass to the far side of the field, and Luis Flores just fought for every yard.
A little teardrop, as they call it in basketball, but a good job there by Barrera of getting that ball to Luis Flores, and Flores did the rest. 3rd and 1 from the 45-yard line now. Barrera's going to have two receivers on either side of the formation, and Luis Flores on his left hip pocket, 9:45 left in the ball game. Here's the snap, the handoff. It's actually a keeper by Barrera, who's got the first down as he turns the corner over on the far side and is taken out of bounds in Canyon territory at the 48-yard line. And again, a very big 3rd down conversion for the Eagles.
Big play set up very well as they faked the handoff to Flores. Barrera with some nifty ball handling, pulls it back out, heads to the far side of the field, knew where he needed to get for the first down.
And now the Eagles have a first down in Cougar territory at the 48-yard line, trailing by a touchdown, 38-31. Barrera from the shotgun, two receivers on either side of the formation. Ball is on the far hash mark. Barrera dropping straight back. He's got time, lets the pass go. He's got a receiver in the area, and it is incomplete as that ball batted away by the defensive back over on the far side who was in 1-on-1 coverage with Sebastian Velasquez.
And good coverage here. You got to hand it to the defensive back, and just batted that ball, almost batted it up in the air for Velasquez to pluck it up, but he did not.
That ball was batted up a couple of times, and that defensive back might have still been able to come down with it. But on the incompletion, clock stops with 9:28 left in the ball game, and the Eagles driving in Cougar territory at the 48-yard line. 2nd and 10 now for the Eagles. Barrera's in the backfield all by himself, has three receivers here. No, he'll have Luis Flores there on his left. Embry rolls out, and the catch is made in the left flat. That wasn't Luis Flores. That was Embry in the backfield with him, and Embry makes the catch and is brought down inside the 45-yard line at the 44. It's going to bring up a third and 5 for the Eagles.
Barrera got that football there to Embry just in time. The defender came up just as the football got there.
Eagles looking at a 3rd and 6. The line to get is a 38-yard line for the Eagles. Ball is on the far hash mark. Embry will be in the slot this time on the right side of the formation, and Barrera is going to be in the backfield all by himself. 3 down linemen for the Cougars. Here comes the pressure from the left side of the line. Barrera doesn't have a whole lot of time, has to eat it himself, and he's going to be brought down for a sack back at the 46-yard line.
And here is where I believe we are bringing out the punt team here. 8:23 and counting. And once we punt this football away, it's going to be up to the Eagle defense to get it back.
Bastian Medina on for the punt. He's had one blocked already in this game. We'll look to get it off cleanly here. More importantly, pin the Cougars deep. The Cougars now have called their first time out of the second half. It comes with 8:03 left in the ball game, and the Eagles trailing 38-31. Thank you for joining us on Eagle Pass Sports Central. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. Back live with you here with 8:02 left. Here is the punt from Medina, and it will hit at the 15 and then take a good Eagle bounce inside the 10-yard line. And now, Morris, this Eagle defense is really going to be called upon to take a stand with 7:51 left in the ball game. You can't afford to have the Cougars put any more points on the board, and you've got to stop them to try to get the ball back here.
Well, 7:51 left. The key here is a quick 3 and out so that the Eagles can get the football with some good field position to try to put it in the end zone.
Cougars have the ball at their own 7-yard line in the shadow of their own goalpost. Man in motion. Here is the handoff to Jones. Jones finds a lane and comes to the near side. He's going to get a first down. And plus, the clock continues to tick as Jones was brought down inbounds. Comes up a little gimpy, headed towards the bench, but it's a first down for the Cougars at the 23-yard line.
I was about to say that Quincy Jones has had a pretty good ball game so far.
Certainly has, coming in relief of Jackson Reagan, who's now out of pads down on the sideline for the Cougars. 7:20 left in the ball game. Eagle defense trying to hold here, and of course the Cougars in no particular hurry to snap the ball now. Will let the play clock go. Here is a hand. He's a keeper by Ford. Up the middle he goes. Not much there. Back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Cougars.
Clock continues to run here. We're under 7 minutes. And like you mentioned, they're going to work this play clock down inside 5 seconds every time.
Eagles have 2 timeouts left. They had to use one on the punt, or previous to the punt, prior to the punt. Here is a quick pass caught.
Looks like is that an 8?
That's number 4, I think, coming out of the slot. Craycraft, and Craycraft gets the Cougars a first down, and this was the possibility when you punt the ball back to the Cougars that they're going to take the ball and you're not going to be able to get it back. Ball now is at the 33-yard line.
And they are looking over at the sideline, getting the play. Play clock down inside 15 seconds, now under 10 seconds.
Handoff again. And this time the running back is brought down at the line of scrimmage, the 33, 2nd down coming up.
Cougars making sure that this clock is running. We'll be under 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes here.
5:24 left in the game. Eagles down 38-31. There's a pass by Ford. He's going to have to bring it down now and run with it. And the Eagles are going to bring him down at the 35 after a gain of only 2 yards. And it's going to be now a third and about, they'll give him the 37 on that carry. So it's going to be a third and about 6 now for the Cougars.
We'll be under 4.5 minutes by the time that they snap the football again. This is very critical third down now for the Eagle defense. As here come the Cougars.
3rd and 5 for the Cougars. Ford awaits the snap. Under 5 seconds left in the play clock. Here's a zone read. The ball goes to Jones, and Jones is able to get the first down to the 45. Eagle defense just unable to bring him down once he had momentum behind him.
He just went over the right side of his line and just kept moving forward to get a very important first down.
And a fresh set of downs for the Cougars here from the 45-yard line. As the clock ticks to 4 minutes left in the ball game, Eagles down by a touchdown, 38-31, and the defense trying to get the ball back for that Eagle offense here with under 4 minutes left in the ball game. A keeper by Ford, right up the middle he goes. There's a fumble there at about the 45. Is the ball on the ground, or are they going to say that Ford was down?
And they're talking about it.
Loose. The officials are still talking about it at about the 45 as Ford was headed down with the ball. The Eagles did come up with it.
And they're going to say that call him down.
Ford was down. They'll move the chains. That's a first down for the Cougars.
We saw the Eagles pop up and indicating a fumble. And the minute you saw the officials coming to check it, we knew that was something we weren't going to get that.
Ball is at the 45 now in Eagle territory. 3:17 left. The Eagles still do have 2 timeouts left to use in the ball game. The Cougars are not going to snap this ball for another 15 seconds or so with under 3 minutes left on the clock. And the Eagles' best hope at this point is a fumble and a turnover here late in the game. The handoff is to Jones. First contact as he crosses the 45 and is brought down at the 42-yard line.
Question becomes, so you've got 2 timeouts. When do you start taking them here?
Well, of course, now
we're going to stop at 2 minutes.
The 2-minute timeout now. So you've really got that extra one should you choose to use it on this side of the 2 minutes. As things stand now, the Cougars are not going to snap this ball for another 18 seconds. It's going to be the last play before the 2-minute timeout. Ford will take the snap. On to zone read, keeps it himself, has room on the left side at the 30, 25, still on his feet at the 20, and finally goes out of bounds down here inside the 20 at the 18. And there is, in fact, one more play to run before the 2-minute timeout because the clock stops as Ford went out of bounds inside the 20 with 2:09 left.
I was wondering if Ford thought about staying in bounds. Because sooner or later the Eagles are going to have to start using those timeouts. And now you've also got to worry about stopping him from getting in the end zone.
Any more points here would make the lead almost insurmountable for the Eagles, so the defense really called upon here to step up. Jones with the carry over the right side of the center, gets inside the 10 to the 8-yard line, and now we've come to the 2-minute timeout. The Cougars are knocking on the door inside the 10 when we come back from this timeout. Eagles down 38-31. Back with you now inside the 10-yard line. The Cougars have a 1st and goal at the 8 with 2 minutes left in the ball game. The Eagles have a 38 to 31 deficit to try to make up here in the last 2 minutes of the game, at least for now, barring any more scoring from this Cougar offense. Here's a handoff to Jones, slips up in the backfield. He'll lose a yard to the 9, and now the Eagles are going to need to start using those timeouts. They do here with 1:53 left in the ball game. We're going to step away and be right back. Second down now from inside the 10-yard line. 2nd and goal from the 9 for the Cougars. Tight formation coming for the Cougars here. It's a direct snap to Jones, and Jones is caught in the backfield, trying to go around to end over on the far side of the field. The Eagles quickly call their last timeout. A loss of a bunch of yards for Jones there all the way back to the 17. And with 1:46 left in the ball game, it's going to be a 3rd and goal coming from the 16-yard line for the Cougars.
Well, the point here being what do the Cougars have to guard against is, a turnover that could go the other way. And for sure, they're not going to throw the football. We would be greatly. We think we would be greatly surprised if they do. So, Eagles defense going to be trying to strip the ball, and regardless of what happens here, the Cougars will go on 4th down or kick a field goal.
Absolutely, they are in field goal range for Enriquez, so that might be an option for them as well. Here's Ford from the shotgun. Will keep it himself. The Eagle defense is on him, and they're going to bring him down as he nears the 10 at the 12. Now the Eagles cannot stop the clock anymore with 1:38 left on the clock here. And so the Cougars are going to take another 33 seconds or so off the clock. So just inside a minute by the time the Cougars call their timeout, once they bleed the clock down all the way to 1 second.
Well, you're right. Or either that or not call a timeout. But you would think that they would call a timeout.
Here's a head coach here right by the official waiting for that play clock to reach one before calling a timeout. And again, we're going to be just under a minute by the time this timeout gets called from the Cougars. There it is now. It'll leave them with 1 in the ball game. And it's going to be interesting now to see whether the Cougars are going to send out Enriquez. I see him on the field. They're going to attempt a field goal here to essentially put the game out of reach for the Eagles. Now, the interesting thing is if that gets missed, now the Eagles have a chance to go all the way back for a tie. It would be from very deep in their own territory, but it gives you at least some hope that you can still come back and tie this game. A field goal pretty much puts a nail in the coffin.
Well, that is the scenario we're looking at. And hopefully he'll miss the field goal. And we most certainly, the Eagle offense should be over on the opposite side of the field saying, hey, we're going to get the ball back, and these are the plays we're going to run. Have to stay away from the middle of the field because we don't have any timeouts left.
Not much wind to speak of. It's just now picked up, and it is at Enriquez's back. This is going to be a 29-yard field goal attempt from the right hash mark for Enriquez.
I think much more so this year we've seen kickers, field goal kickers, and make a difference in ball games.
High quality of kicking that we've seen so far in this game. That kick is up, and it is good. And the Cougars extend their lead to 10 now, 41-31, with 55 seconds left in the ball game. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. (41-31) is the score with just under a minute left in the ball game. The Eagles will receive this kick. It is muffed on the fair catch back here by Ryan Ray, and then out of bounds he goes. They're going to down that. They're going to call that down at the 7-yard line. So again, not great field position for the Eagles and their last gasp attempts here.
Explain that to you. He actually called a fair catch, and then he fumbled it, and it went out of bounds. So you don't get it out to the 25, and you start at the 6-yard line. If you want to look at it in a positive way, well, leaves you a lot more field to work with on that long pass. It was Hail Mary.
And we expect to see a lot of those coming up here from Javi Barrera, as he's going to have his receivers streaking down the field here. About 94 yards to go for the Eagles to get a touchdown. Quick pass caught over by Jesus Barba over on the far side. That's actually number 31 with the ball, and he'll go up the far sideline. That is Rodrigo Gonzalez Garcia, sophomore wide receiver, with the catch. He does go out of bounds, so the clock stops, and the Eagles come quickly to the line of scrimmage, the 32. Here comes the pressure. Barrera has to step up. He's just going to have to run it himself now. He's at the 40, nowhere near the sideline. They're going to bring him down at the 39, and the clock is going to continue to tick from there. We'll see how many more plays the Eagles can get off here. All the wide receivers have to come back and get set before this ball can be snapped. There it is. It's a quick pass. It's caught by Jeremiah Silva here on the near side, and he manages to get out of bounds with 19 seconds left. The ball will be spotted at the 46-yard line, still in the Eagle territory, but the clock does stop as Silva stepped out of bounds after the catch.
We're down to our last 19 seconds here.
Barrera will take the snap. He'll be by himself in the shotgun. Here is the snap. Looks right immediately, now rolls right, still looking downfield. There's the pass. It is incomplete. Sebastian Velasquez was in the area down there on the near sideline. Pass goes out of bounds and incomplete. 12 seconds left. Clock stops on the incompletion. And the Eagles really need a miracle here now to be able to go all the way down, score, somehow onside kick, and get the ball back.
Well, you've got 3 men down, and that's it. And the Cougars have got everybody back.
Barrera from the shotgun takes the snap, drops back. Here comes the pressure. He's going to step up into it. They're going to sack him at the 40-yard line, and that's going to be the last play of the game here as the clock ticks down to 0. The Eagles will not get to snap the ball again. So a game that the Eagles seemingly had in hand as we came into the second half. They scored first and had this game at 31-17, but the Cougars making adjustments both ways on defense, really bringing the defensive pressure in the second half. And then, of course, on offense with those zone reads, Knox Ford was able to really inflict some damage on that Eagle defense. 3 unanswered touchdowns plus that field goal, Morris, and final score 41-31 in favor of the Cougars.
Well, not only that, the second half belonged to the Cougars. There are definitely no doubt. They made some adjustments on defense that we got hurt by a 4th down conversion that went for a touchdown, a block punt back into the end zone that they recovered for another touchdown. And most definitely, we knew we were going to be in for a tough ball game here. Did really well at the half, but the second half, the Cougars, just came back, and we did not score in the second half.
That's right. So the Eagles will look forward now. They'll be in Eagle Pass next weekend. Still not the start of district play, I don't believe. Although Medina Valley might be coming into town next week, but we'll get our schedule to you. We'll see you for the prediction show on Thursday, and we'll have all the highlights from this game. We'll talk to the coaches and then look forward to the games next week for the Mavericks and the Eagles. Mavericks, of course, are open this weekend. No game for the Mavericks, but we will look forward to seeing you at our prediction show next week. We want to thank our sponsors, Brown Chevrolet of Eagle Pass, Ancita Ford of Eagle Pass, Choche's Barbecue, and State Representative Eddie Morales for their sponsorship of these broadcasts. For my broadcasting partner, Morris Lipson Jr., my name is Ruben Valadez. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.